And Salesforce is divided into how many categories? Like whenever we get the license from the Salesforce, what we get? One is platform, one is software as a service, another one is
PaaS, platform as a
PaaS,
service,
and infrastructure as a service. Super. That's all. Without getting late, let's begin this session. In today's session, we'll explore the org, live org, and see what we can do. So we are into day 2, admin day 2. Here we'll see Salesforce Org Setup. Okay, once we set up the org, we'll see the basic information, Salesforce org information, how to log into Salesforce and Salesforce setup menu overview. And we'll see the org information or company information and the domain information. And we'll see the basic navigations in Salesforce. And these are very important, these navigations. And we'll also see how users exist in the Salesforce. We'll see a demo on the user management. We'll see how we can create application single click in click and actions, and how we can create the custom applications. And we'll end up with question and answers. So Salesforce on login flow. So as we discussed, like user inserts a login using a supported web browser. Like we can use these browsers, and in order to log into our Salesforce, so whatever the org we create, we are creating the developer org, that is called the production org. That is called the production org. In order to log into that production org, we should use this URL, login.salesforce.com. Let's suppose you set up an account and you are able to create the account. But if you want to log into that account, you need to type in the URL as login.salesforce.com. If you don't remember this URL, just say Salesforce login in the browser. You will redirect to login.salesforce. Once we click on this URL, we need to enter our username and password to log into our Salesforce account, the account which we created. Clear? And in order to log into Sandbox, as we discussed, right, Salesforce environments, production and Sandbox. For now, ours is free developer account, right? So we'll not have this Sandbox feature and will not have this much of feasibility. But in the real time, we'll only log into Sandbox. We'll only log into test.salesforce.com. These are all test URLs. We'll only log into test.salesforce.com. So Manoj, he's employed. He will log in to his org with the test.salesforce.com. So that's how it is. If you don't remember the Sandbox URL, let's say like Salesforce Sandbox login test.salesforce.com. Whatever we want, we need to search in the browser if we don't remember the URL. So this is how we can log into production and Sandbox. And authentication, like we can set up some authentications like username and password along with that multi-factor authentication, like approvals, how we set up in the Google Gmail. In order to log in, we need to accept some code, or we need to do some second level of authentication, right? We can do the same in Salesforce as well. Org access, production org. As we discussed, production org will have all the live business data, live business environment. This environment is called live environment. The environment which the customers, real world customers use. Sandbox org. Sandbox are only used by developers and testers. Developers, testers, and UATs. The real time business users. For one we do business, they also use the sandboxes to test the functionality in the UI. Only the clients, only the customers who are using the, let's suppose we built an insurance application for a client called ABC. That ABC client will also use the sandbox only, like for testing. But for the insurance application who are using, the real time people or real world people who are using that insurance application, they will use the production. Like if they want any data, like if they want to access any data, if they want to have any data operations, they will use the production. Keynotes: always use sandbox for testing and development. You should always go with sandbox approach. Verify URL to confirm sand production or sandbox access. We can verify the URL, as I said you, right? For login to production, what is the URL?
రాకట్టే ఈ నాకు వాయిస్ వినిపించలేదు.
Sorry, voice వినిపించదు. Can you hear me?
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
I think there is some.
Okay. I thought someone
Can
said.
also change the layout.
Okay.
The three dots.
Okay.
Change the layout. Active.
Okay.
Active speaker.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Cool. So we need to verify the URL. In order to log into production, what we need to search?
Login Salesforce.
Login Salesforce. In order to log into Sandbox, this is very basic thing, because once you are into the project, you need to log into the Sandbox. Most of the 99% you log in into Sandbox. For that, you need to use test.salesforce.com, not the production. If you log into Sandbox with the production credentials, it won't allow. So that's how it is. And now we'll see the company information setup. For now, I already have the Salesforce account created. Let me open that and see. We can explore like what exactly inside the Salesforce. So this company information will once we create a Salesforce account, it is called an org. So all the organization information will reside in the company information. So in order to see the company information, we need to go to setup company information. Here we'll find the details like company name, organization edition, organization ID, business address, where is our company located, and local settings like language, what language we have set, and the time zone. This all information we can see in the company information. So there are some best practices, because before creating the users only, we need to set up the company information, because whenever we create any new user or load new user into the Salesforce, it automatically takes this time zone and language from the company. So we need to it's better if we stick to one language and one time zone, so the users would also have the same time zone and language. So once I log into Salesforce, I'll be on this page. So in order to go to company information, what I need to do, click on setup. This is the gear icon. Setup. I'll click on setup. So this is the major crucial part. Whatever we see in the mobile apps like settings, or settings like app settings, or settings in simple settings, it's like the same in Salesforce. In the settings, we can access all the Salesforce related metadata. how we access in the mobiles, like once we go to settings, we'll see how many apps have been installed, how many, what is the data usage, etc., etc. These all we can see with the help of setup. So in the setup, what I want to see, company information. Company information. I'll go to company information. See, whatever we said in the company information will have all these details. Now, while creating the Salesforce org, I I named my company as AR Solutions Private Limited, and the contact for my company is Akhil Reddy, and address India, financial year starts in. I can mention all this information. Here we need to consider a few things. One is locale. Locale, as I said, locale and language. Whatever the language we set and whatever the locale we set, this will apply for all the users. Automatically, this will apply for all the users upon user loading. If you want to change that, we can manually do that. And the time zone. And we'll also have the for every org we created, we'll have a unique ID. In Salesforce, whatever we create, whatever we do, that will generate a unique ID to differentiate, because based on this unique ID only we'll get the data from the server. As we discussed, right, apartment which has blocks of server, blocks of flats. For every flat, we'll have a server assigned to it. We'll have a owner. It's like a owner ID in terms of apartment. The same way, a large server, in that we'll have small servers which is called multi-tenant architecture. In that one, for every small server, we'll have an org ID. With this org ID only, we can get the data from that server. And org ID starts with 00T. For every Salesforce component, will have the prefix, the three digits prefix 00D. And for account 001, yesterday we discussed it, account lead, for lead OAQ will have this prefix. And we can see the edition as developer edition. Now the important point is, see, whenever I created the org, I was allocated to a server AP61. AP61. As I said you, right, in order to see the server's information, we need to go to status.salesforce.com. So this is the server which was allocated to me. If there is any issue with this server, I'll not get the data. I'll not get the data into Salesforce. So that's how it is. Like sometimes we might see some issues with the Salesforce. We can't even log into the Salesforce. We can't even access some few things in the Salesforce. Then in order to debug that, in order to know why we are not able to see the information, or like why the Salesforce is not working as expected, then we need to go to status.salesforce.com. In that Salesforce servers, we should see our server is available or not. If it is available, then we'll get the data. If it is on the maintenance, there might be some issues. If it is on the server disruption, we might see some issues. If it is on the performance degradation, we might see issues. And if we switch to maintenance tab, here we can see in the past 33 days, these many servers were in maintenance. So we can see all the information. That's why I asked you to explore this status.salesforce.com. Okay. So this is an instance, and we can also see the information, user licenses, how many licenses for this free account, how many licenses we have, how many licenses are used, how many remaining licenses we have. This all information also we can find. And this is like permission sets. This we'll discuss later. And feature licenses, all the org related information we'll find in the company information. Hope I make sense here. You guys are following, right? And once you set up the org also, you navigate to this company information and see whatever the data you give and whatever the information you have given, that will reflect in the company information. Clear about company information?
Yes, bro.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So say Salesforce org configuration in this domain setup, we can set up some domains for the Salesforce, like unique domains. We can create a unique domains for Salesforce org. We'll see this to set up the domains. Setup. We are into the setup. As I said, this setup is the major thing. Whatever we want to access, we need to search for that, and we'll get the results. It's like a settings in the mobile application. So here you can see this is my domain. If you look at the URL, this is my domain. See, this is how it reflects here. We can set up the unique domain as well. Domain URL, this is the domain name. If you want to change the domain, saying LTT. Now I changed my domain. So we can have some unique domains. Once we get the Salesforce account, if there is a ask to set up the unique domain from your client, we need to set up in this way. So this is about domain configuration, and we can also set up the fiscal year setup. In the company information, we have saw that, right? Fiscal year starts in January. We can set up this information as well. Fiscal year, it starts from January. Like it's like a financial year. Usually it starts from March to March in our case. So say we can set up all the our company information, and we can set up the currency information. What all the currencies our company accepts. We can do all these things. But in case of this currency setup, once it is set up, it's not. Once it's set up, it cannot be disabled. So it's better we'll maintain the single currency in the Salesforce. Best practices, complete the setup and then user creation. As I said you before, the user creation only we need to do all these things. Org setup should be done before the user creation, because whenever the user is created, that the data is the data we will get from the org only for the user. So are we good with domain setup and all these things? This is all about company information only. Now let's switch to basic definitions of UI navigations. So in the Salesforce, this is some of the vocabulary or terminology, Salesforce terminology, which we use day by day for our trading and as well as in the real times. Everywhere we'll use this. In every team in the real-time projects, we'll use this. Go to that app, go to that object, find that record, get that field, and do a global search for that field, get the list views. These are all things we'll use. Application. So in Salesforce, application is called a collection of tabs, objects, tools designed for specific business process. Example: sales, service, customer. Yesterday in the session we discussed, right? Sales cloud, service cloud, marketing cloud. So that is all about an application. If I go to Salesforce and if I search for sales, I'll see the sales application, app launcher. This part so this is an application, sales application. In the same way, we can application stores the tabs, objects, tools design. Says custom access app launcher 9 dots icon. In order to access the app, we need to click on this 9 dots icon. So once we log in into Salesforce, we'll find this 9 dots icon. You can see this, right? 9 dots icon. In order to search for any app, the app which already Salesforce has given, and the app which we the custom built applications also we can access using this app launcher. Now I want to access service cloud, service application. I can access the service. In the service, yesterday we have seen the PPT, right? Cases things. See, cases. This is service cloud. So if we switch to service application or service cloud, we'll see the service related data, service related rows, columns, tabs, and marketing application. So whatever the applications which Salesforce give and what are the applications which we create, we can access all those applications using this 9 dots. Clear? Yeah. And inside the app, we'll have the objects, a table that stores business data such as accounts or contacts, access, navbar, actions. So let's assume, let's take an banking application. So I built an banking application, or like I built a banking application. For that application, I need to maintain the data, right? I need to maintain the banking, like banking branch and banking name, and all this data I need to maintain, right? In that application, I need to maintain the data of the banking application. For that, or like take an onboarding application. In that onboarding application, I need to maintain the data for candidate data, as well as the trainer data, as well as the HR data. In order to maintain that data, I need some tabs. I need some tables. In the app, I need some tables in order to maintain the data. So for that, those tables are called objects in Salesforce. A table that stores business data such as accounts or contacts. If you go to sales application or marketing sales application, in order to maintain this data for this sales application, we have tables. These are all called tables in the backend. Account data. In order to maintain the account data, we'll have account table. In order to maintain the contact data, we'll have contact table. Because just creating the application there is no use. We need to maintain the data inside the application. So app stays at the top level. Inside the app, we'll have objects. A table that stores business data and record. So inside the table, in order to maintain that table data, let's suppose account table. In that account table, I'll have n number of accounts. 1, 2. This is a table. Assume in that account table, I'll have n number of accounts. Account A, account B, account C, account D. In order to maintain that account data in the table, we'll have records, which are called rows. In the Salesforce. So in the account table, in the sales application, in the account table, in order to maintain the account details, like we'll have n number of customers. So we need to have n number of rows. For that, in order to maintain that account information, each and every account information will have rows inside the accounts. This is called row inside the Salesforce. Burlington Textile Corporation of America, ABC. These are all called accounts, rows inside the table. One complete record displayed in a list view. So are we good at these 3 points? These are most important to understand. Application, object, record. Application, table, row. Are you good at these 3 points? 3 terminologies.
Yeah, bro.
What you got? Like, can someone reiterate this in a single statement? If you are not clear, pause me. So let me iterate this again, because it's more important to understand. In the real time, will explore these things as a basic developer. So it's a basic developer task. Let's assume an application, onboarding application. We created an onboarding application, and that application can be accessed using these 9 dots. In that application, I want to maintain the data, right? I want to maintain the HR data. I want to maintain the candidates data. In order to maintain the data, I need some tables inside the application. Let's assume this is an application. In order to maintain this data, I'm creating the table. In the table, in order to maintain each and every HR information, I'll have the rows. So that's all. Next one is column or field. In that rows, a specific piece of data like phone, industry, or owner. In order, if you go to the row in the table, in the application, and in the table, in the row, if you go to any of the row, we'll have these things, right? Details, we'll have these things, right? Account name, parent account type, industry, rating. So these are all called fields. Fields are columns in the Salesforce. In a row, we'll have columns. With that columns only, we'll maintain the data. With that columns only, we'll maintain the data. Clear? These things. Application, inside the application, we'll have object, and inside object or table. Inside that table, we'll have a rows, or called records in Salesforce. We'll create the data for that rows using the fields or columns. So this is the basic high level. And navigation bar displays object tabs for quick navigation. So this is called navigation bar. This is called navigation bar. This is called navigation bar. So we are into sales application, and inside that sales application, I want to go to account table. I want to go to account table. So I'll use this nav bar and click on the account table. And if you click on this drop down, we'll have all the data, all the tables. These are all called tables. Global search searches records across all the objects in Salesforce. So whatever we have in most of the applications or most of the websites will have a global search, right? Let's suppose I have an account called Burlington Textile Corporation of America. Now I'm into sales application. So I'm on the sales application. I want to access that row. I want to access that record, but I don't know where exactly it is located. It's in the account, or it's in the contact, or it's in the case. It's in the opportunity. So I'll do a global search. I'll say Burlington Textile Corporation of America. I'm able to find this, right? Account. So that I can directly navigate to that account. This is the power of global search. If you want to access any data in the Salesforce, and if you don't know where exactly it's located, we can access that using global search. Salesforce global search. And list view displays multiple records of an object in a table format. So list view. If you go to this table, and if you are in the table, and if you click on this drop down, these are called list views, recent list views, all accounts. So we can design some list views. By saying my accounts. These are the accounts who created by who created by me. And if you want to access all the accounts, we can access this. And this list views we'll discuss in detail. For now, just remember. Used to access Salesforce configuration, setup, your account setup. Yeah. Are you clear in this slide? If you don't understand, like, ask me again. Because today I'll giving you an activity. Okay. The basic definitions of UI navigations. So as we said, what exactly this 9 dots is called in Salesforce? Can someone answer? We just discussed it. 9 dots in Salesforce. This one. What exactly this is called? Or if you don't know the name, like, what is the purpose of it, at least? Oh,
App launcher.
app launcher. Perfect. Awesome. So, what is the purpose of app launcher? If we don't know the name, also we should know the purpose so that we can use. What is the purpose of it?
Yeah.
App launcher is something like in order to launch an app. App launcher to launch an app. Now I am on the sales app. I want to go to service app. I'll use this app launcher to launch the service app. So app launcher is to launch the standard or custom application in Salesforce. And once we go to app launcher, we'll see the app name. And what is this thing in Salesforce? The thing which is highlighted. It's a navbar, right? Navbar. In order to see the navigation items, we'll use the navbar. And what are and what are this in Salesforce? The whole navbar contains these things. What are this in Salesforce? These are called tabs. Tabs in Salesforce. In order to access the table data, we'll have the tabs. Because for the sales or service, let's assume in our application, onboarding application, in that application we'll have tables. Inside the tables, we'll have rows. In order to access that rows, we need to have something in the UI, right? The tables are created in the backend, but in order to access the tables, we should have something in the UI. Those are called tabs. And this whole is called navbar. And what are these in Salesforce?
All company
At all.
names.
Sorry? Yeah, go ahead. If it is wrong, also you can please answer.
All
So
company
this is,
names.
yeah, all company names. This is the table. Inside the table, what we have? Just we discussed, right? Inside the table, we'll have rows. So this is a table. Inside the table, these are called rows, right? In basic terminology, the rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And these rows are called records. Records in Salesforce. Rows are called records in Salesforce. And in the navbar, if you want to add any more items, like we can add, we can click on this edit icon and add the navbar items. Let's suppose I want to add more items and say I want to add assets, add nav item, save. So now the assets will be displayed here. Scroll, if you click on this more, the assets will be displayed here. We can access the asset table data and asset table rows. Now it comes to user management in Salesforce. So these are few terminologies in Salesforce. We'll discuss this in detail, but for now, just understand profile. Profile is something that defines what a user can do. So basically, in the Salesforce, whatever we do, whatever we create, whatever we do, there should be an access restriction. The user should access only these things. User should access only all few things. So that access restriction we can do with profiles, and that is mandatory for every user. Controls object, fields, apps, and tabs access. So whatever we discuss, right? The apps in the app object, fields, tabs, these all access we can decide for the user inside the profile, and we'll have only one profile for user. So this is my user. In order to hold on, like in order to navigate to my user details, at the top right corner we have this icon, right? View profile. We need to click on this profile. There we can see I'm a user, Akhil Reddy, I'm a user. And if I click on settings over here, I'll see my information. Like my name and my email, my username, and my working hours, all information. And if I go to advanced user details, here I'll see the profile. This is the most important component in Salesforce. This profile plays a major role in the case of user. It will decide what level of access the user should have, and like what all apps user should access, and inside the apps what all objects a user should access. This all we can decide, and what all tabs the user should see. It controls the object, field, app, and tab access. In order to see the profiles, we need to go for setup profiles. In the setup, if you want to see the profiles in the Salesforce, we need to go click on setup and profiles. So here we can find the profiles. Whatever the profiles with Salesforce give, we can create the custom profiles as well. For now, I got assigned to system administrator. So whenever any user is created, whenever we create any Salesforce org, the new Salesforce org, automatically system administrator profile is allocated to our user. If we look at this user information, I can see system administrator. And role defines what data user can see. So profiles control the access. Roles will give the access, like they will decide like what data a user can see. Optional for users. Roles are not mandatory. Used for data visibility and hierarchy. Setup roles. And the user activation. For this user activation, enable Salesforce access. User can log in, license, consume access. This is something on the user details. If you see the user details, we have an active checkbox, right? We can activate or deactivate the users. If there is any user who don't want to be part of that, we can deactivate the user. But this is the only user system administrator which we created while creating the org, so we can't deactivate the user. If we create any new user, we can deactivate it. User deactivation and user deletion. We can delete the user, we can deactivate the user. Let's go to the users and see these options. Users. So we have a user called Paul or Martin Bob. So this user I want to deactivate. So in order to deactivate that user, I click this checkbox. So that now we deactivated the user. So that's how it is. This user won't be part of our org. He can't do any actions. Deactivate the user, and we can also delete the user. We can freeze the user and delete the user. We can do that thing as well. And user management. Let's take an real world scenario in the user management. ABC Corporation is onboarding a new sales executive who needs access to Salesforce to work on sales activities. ABC Corporation is onboarding a new sales executive. The user should be able to log in use the sales application and start working immediately. When the employee leaves the organization, access should be safely removed without deleting the data. Activate the user as a sales profile to sales app access to the user. So here our scenario is we have a we need to create a user. Now we'll see the user creation part. This is most important. Please concentrate. We need to create a user, and that user should be responsible for sales process. The sales application which we had, right? The user should be part of sales process. He should only working on the sales application. He should not have access to other applications. So for that, we'll create a user. Go to, in order to create the user, create user from setup user users. So I'll go to setup. So what we want to create? What we want to create? User. So simple. Just this is the major thing. Like whatever we want to do, whatever we want to access, we should click on this setup. And if you want to create the user, click on users. You click on users. Now I want to create a like. Are you guys clear about this requirement? This use case at first.
Yes, bro.
So what exactly is this use case? Can someone iterate in a single statement?
Creation of users.
Creation of users, but what is our agenda? So we'll have a user who will, let's suppose in our org, we need to Narsa is the user who want to access the who is accountable for sales activities, sales whatever the sales is happening in our organization, in our ABC corporation. He should be accountable to handle the sales. So for that, we'll create a user and we'll assign that sales application to the user. I'll create a user saying go. So while creating the users, the things which are marked in red are mandatory. We can't create the user without these fields. And email. Nine. So all the mandatory fields are filled. Let's see. For the user creation, we'll have this user title and user role and user profile. Okay, here we have charter external. Hold on. Okay, like there is a limitation in this free developer, or like we don't have licenses, so we'll only we already have the number of users and licenses, so we'll just edit this user saying code.
Akhil, deactivate that user and create the new user.
Yeah, maybe I can do that. Deactivate. See in this way, but the profile will stay the same, right? Shiva? Let's see now. See, I can't see the profile and license. Let's freeze this. Let's see. Salesforce license. Now I can see. Yes, so in our organization, in our AR solutions organization, we need to have a employee. In the here we are saying it as user. We need to have a employee who will be handling the sales application, who will be handling the sales process, whatever the sales process happening in our AR solutions, or like he will be handling the sales process. So for that, I'll say the license as Salesforce and profile. So in the last slide we discussed, right? Profile is something which defines what a user can do. So in order to create the user, profile is mandatory for every user. We can't create a user without profile. So profile is mandatory for every user, and we'll have only one profile for a user. So in our case, what we want to access the sales application. So we'll create the user and assign the sales profile. So for this user, I'll say the profile as sales profile, because I need to access the custom sales. I need to access the sales application. I'll say a sales profile, and I'll save this user. Now, Narsagod, like we have a new employee in our AR solutions organization, and this guy is responsible for sales process. Now we assign the sales profile, but what we want to do, we want to allow only the sales application to be accessible for this user. For that we can do it in two ways. It's two in this way only. So profile is something, with the help of profile, what we can do, we can control object, field, app, and tab access. But in our case, what exactly we need to control? App access. A new user, a new employee is loaded into AR solutions, and he should be only able to responsible for sales process. Only should have access to sales application, and that decision can be done with profile. So I'm on the user profile, Narsa Goat's profile. In this profile, what I want to do, applications. Sales.
Will be available defaultly for the sales profile.
Yeah. Sales will be okay. This is something on the default. Okay. Maybe we'll see. We'll disable the other applications. Let's see. Okay. Sales console. So we have sales console application. I want to deactivate this sales console application for this user, just to see. Now I deactivated the sales console application, so this user should not see that sales console application. But in order to test that, I need to log in with that user, right? I need to log in with that user. Now I am on. Now I logged in as my user Akhil Reddy. I want to log in as Narsa Goud user and see whether I can access the sales console application or not. For that, login. In order to log in, we need to enable the checkbox. And we need to enable the settings in the login access policies. It's already enabled login access. We need to enable this checkbox. By default, it is disabled. We need to enable this checkbox. Administrator can log in as any user. We need to enable and save. Now, if I go to users and Narsa Code, I can see the login button. See. Okay, we go to classic. Okay. Letting experiences enabled for them, but not yet.
The new user you need to give
Okay, lightning experience is
lightning
disabled.
access. Yeah.
Okay. Custom sales profile. Profiles. Custom sales profile. Let me log out as associated first. So for this custom sales profile, go to profiles. Custom sales profile which got assigned to. That's go enable lightning experience. Lightning experience. Save. So I'll go to the NASA cloud user. Access. Login. It's not. So anyway, we can see here, right? We don't see the sales console application. Sales console application is disabled as we disabled it in the profile. So profile is something which we can control the restriction for objects, tabs, and fields access. And here, like we'll try to build a custom application. Like what exactly Salesforce application? Salesforce application is an workspace that bundles tabs, objects, pages, automations. Why applications are used for related data? Standard applications. So whatever the applications which we are seeing here right now, what are the applications which we are seeing here right now are called standard applications. So whatever the applications which we have here in the application page, application app manager,
These applications will be provided by the Salesforce itself.
Salesforce by default. As you can see, whatever the applications which we are accessing from the app launcher, these are all the applications: sales, service console, sales console. These are called standard applications which are provided by default. If you want to work in the last session we discussed, right? If you want to work on sales things, we can use the existing application. But if you want to build like if a project is custom, if you want to build a healthcare application, if you want to build an onboarding application, then we need to build the custom applications. So standard apps, custom apps. built-in Salesforce apps, custom apps, admins or dev created apps, HR, healthcare apps, and console apps. Console apps are used by supports and call centers. Will not focus much on this console apps. Not needed. And manage apps are like yesterday we discussed, right? We have a app exchange store similar to the Play Store or like App Store in the mobile. Like we'll have a store where we can install the custom applications with the App Store. And Lightning apps. These are called like modern brand apps. We will mostly create the Lightning apps, and these are available for responsive and available for mobile users as well. So application creation process. Standard navigation, profiles, demo application creation. So in this application creation process, we will build a custom application, and we'll do the same. We'll build an employee onboarding application, and we'll assign this application to Narsagod. He should have access to this application. Let's create an application now. We want to build an employee onboarding application. So in order to build an application, just click on setup. What we want to do? Application, right? Whatever we want to do, search in the app. Search in the setup app. Once we search for app, we'll have app manager. If we click on this app manager, we'll see an option called new lightning app. So what application we want to build? Employee onboarding app. These are the basic. For everything in the Salesforce, we'll have the unique name, which is called developer name. And make sure do add the description for everything which we do, because as I'm building the application, I know the purpose of it. But if someone who want to see, like suppose Shiva has seen this application, just by naming we will not know the details of the application. So in order to make it detailed, we need to add the description for everything we create in Salesforce. This application holds the employee onboarding information, holds the 360 view of employee onboarding information. And while creating the application, we can add a logo, we can add the image. These are some restrictions: choosing a JPG, and the size is smaller than 5 MB. Let's take a sample logo. No, these all will be given by your corporate, not onboarding logo. Let's take this image. Test it. Sorry. Images. Okay. Click on desktop images. PNG images. Now I added the logo for our application, and this color we can ignore. This is how our application looks like. The application is of our custom theme. Next, and we'll say it as standard navigation because we want to build a standard application. We'll not concentrate on this console application. And setup experience, full setup of set of options. Whatever we click on setup, we want to find all the options. We need to enable this. And what are the supported uh, products, supported devices for this application? We need to allow this application to be accessible by desktop and phone. So I'll do this, and we don't need to like click on this. It will disable the personalization of the nav items, but we don't need this. Click on next. So here comes the picture. Not utility. Utility is by default. Uh, so in this onboarding application, I created an application, but in order to store that application information, I need to have some tables, right? And to have some tables, in the tables I need to have some rows. So for that tables, those tables are called these tables: account, contact, opportunity. These are all tables. For our onboarding information, uh, we need to have we need to maintain the candidates information in the contacts. So I'll add this contacts table to the application, and click on next. And here comes the picture. It's created. Okay, we'll assign this custom sales profile. So for this profile, we'll have this application access. On save and finish. So boom. Now the application our customer first custom application has been created. So in order to access our application, how to access that? We created the application, and we created the tables for that application. But in order to access that application, how we can do? Can someone say that? We created an application. In order to access that application, how to access that? How to switch to that application? How to go to that application? The app launcher, we can do that, right? Are you guys following, or like confusing? I know it's a little overwhelming in the initial phases. So employee, is that application name? Employee onboarding app. And we enabled this application for only custom sales profile. So Narsa wants to access this application. He only should have access to this application. If I search for employee onboarding information, I'll not find this, because this onboarding Narsa is the one who is responsible for handling this onboarding application. So if we click on login, let's create a profile. So onboarding application. So for that access, I will create the custom profile. That standard profile is, I'll say as onboarding app access profile. And this profile will assign to users, and this profile will assign to Narsa code. Onboarding app access profile. Perfect. Now in my organization, for all the onboarding app related information, Narsa code is responsible for that. Let me give access to that application. Let's go here directly. Narsa code. So in order to give access to that application, we need to go to Narsa code's profile and read employee onboarding application, employee onboarding app. So it's disabled by default. Now I have given access to the application. Now now I am as an Akhil Reddy. I am as Akhil Reddy user. Now if I search for employee onboarding information, I'll not find the application because I'm not because I don't need access for that, because I don't take care of this application. Narsa code is the one who should handle this application. So for that I have given access to him only. I'll try logging as him. Now I logged in as Narsa code and see whether we are able to access the application which we created. Employee onboarding app. Cool. Boom. Now we can see the application, right? The logo which we added, the application name, and the tables, contacts. Are you guys clear? Hello? Hello?
బ్రో కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉంది బ్రో.
కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉంది కదా? ఓకే.
No.
Do one thing. Whatever I did, మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ క్రియేట్ చేసి, అప్లికేషన్ క్రియేషన్ ప్రాసెస్ ఐడియా ఉందా? ఇప్పుడు చూపించిన కదా. సో శివ ఇందులో ఏమైనా యాక్టివిటీ ఉందా? సో ఒక అప్లికేషన్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఫస్ట్ ఒక యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేయండి. యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేసి ఒక అప్లికేషన్ మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే ఇది అర్థమవుతుంది. వింటూ ఉంటే ఇట్లానే కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉంటుంది. విన్న తర్వాత కంప్లీట్గా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. సో ఇప్పుడు నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటిది అంటే, మీరు సేల్స్ఫోర్స్ అకౌంట్ సెటప్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత మీరు ఒక ఇప్పుడు నర్సాగోడ్ మీరు ఒక యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. లైక్ మీ నేమ్తో కాకుండా మీరు ఆల్రెడీ మీ నేమ్తో ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి ఇంకొక నేమ్తో ఒక యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేయండి. యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేయడం వల్ల గో టు యూజర్స్, సింపుల్. యూజర్స్ని క్రియేట్ చేయడం, సెటప్, మనం ఏం చేయాలనుకుంటున్నామో అది సెర్చ్ చేయాలి. ఇక్కడ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి, విల్ గెట్ ఐడియా. సెటప్లో యూజర్స్, చరణ్ ఆర్ యూ హియర్? సెటప్ యూజర్స్. కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉందిగా? సో దట్స్ ఫైన్, ఉంటుంది ఇనిషియల్గా కాబట్టి. సో మీరు ఈ టాస్క్ చేయండి, యాక్టివిటీ చేయండి. ఒక అప్లికేషన్, ఆన్బోర్డింగ్ అప్లికేషన్ అనేది ఒక యూజర్కి క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ యూజర్కి మాత్రమే అప్లికేషన్ కనిపించాలి, ఆ యూజర్కి మాత్రమే అది యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి, ఎవరికి యాక్సెస్ ఉండదు. సో ఫర్ దట్ మనకి ఇనిషియల్ ఒక యూజర్ కావాలి కదా. సో సెటప్ యూజర్స్, క్రియేట్ న్యూ యూజర్, ఇప్పుడు చరణ్ వచ్చేసి నర్సగౌడ్ అనే ఒక యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేయండి. నర్సగౌడ్ మీరు చరణ్ యొక్క యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత మనం యాప్ ఎట్లా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి? యాప్ క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి ప్రాసెస్ ఏంటి? ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలి? సింపుల్. యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి యూజర్ అని సెర్చ్ చేసినాం. యాప్ క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి సెటప్ లో యాప్ అని సెర్చ్ చేస్తాం. ఏం చేయాలనుకుంటా? యాప్ మేనేజర్. యాప్ మేనేజర్ లోకి వెళ్ళేసి ఒక లైట్నింగ్ యాప్, న్యూ లైట్నింగ్ యాప్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఇక్కడ డీటెయిల్స్ ఇచ్చేసేయండి. ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ అప్లికేషన్ అని చెప్పేసి ఇక్కడ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఇచ్చేసి ఇది ఒక లోపల యాడ్ చేసేసేయండి. నెక్స్ట్ కొట్టేసి డీటెయిల్స్ ఇచ్చేసేయండి. టేబుల్స్ ఏమేమి యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి. తర్వాత టేబుల్స్ మీరు ఇచ్చిన ఇవ్వకుండా దర్శనం. తర్వాత మీరేం చేయాలి అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ యాప్ అనేది నాకు ఓన్లీ ఎవరికి యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి? ఆ యూజర్కి మాత్రమే యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి. సో యాక్సెస్ ఎట్లా డిసైడ్ చేస్తామంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ యాప్ క్రియేట్ చేసినాం. మన యాప్ పేరు ఏంటి? ఎంప్లాయీ ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ యాప్. ఓకే, ఎంప్లాయీ ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ యాప్. నేను ఈ యాప్ని ఎడిట్ చేస్తున్నాను. మనం ఇనిషియల్గా కూడా ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు యాక్సెస్. ఈ యాప్ని ఎడిట్ చేసి ఇది ఎవరికి కనిపించాలంటున్నా? ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ ప్రొఫైల్కి, ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ యాప్ యాక్సెస్ ప్రొఫైల్కి ఈ ప్రొఫైల్ వేసుకోవాలి. ఈ ప్రొఫైల్కి మాత్రమే నాకు కనిపించాలి. ఈ ప్రొఫైల్ ఎవరికి ఉంది? మనం క్రియేట్ చేసిన యూజర్కి ఇవ్వాలి ఈ ప్రొఫైల్. సో సింపుల్, ఇక్కడ 3 కాంపోనెంట్స్. ఒక ప్రొఫైల్ని క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. ఫస్ట్ ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? ప్రొఫైల్స్లోకి వెళ్ళేసి న్యూ ప్రొఫైల్, ఇక్కడ సిస్టమ్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్ని సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి. జస్ట్ టైమింగ్ ఇక్కడ చేసేసి ఒక ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసేయండి. ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసి సేవ్ కొడితే ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అయిపోతుంది. 1 అయిపోయిందా? ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ అయిన తర్వాత మనం యూజర్ క్రియేషన్ టైంకి ఈ ప్రొఫైల్ని అసైన్ చేసుకోండి. బికాజ్ మనకి ఏ కంట్రోల్ అన్నా ఏ యాక్సెస్ అన్నా డైరెక్ట్గా ఒక్క యూజర్కి ఇవ్వలేము. ప్రొఫైల్ ద్వారానే మనం కంట్రోల్ చేయాలి. సో యూజర్కి ప్రొఫైల్ ఈజ్ మ్యాండేటరీ. ఓకేనా? సో యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇక్కడ నర్సగౌడ్కి ఏం ప్రొఫైల్ ఇచ్చిన చూడండి, ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ ఇచ్చిన, క్రియేట్ చేసిన ప్రొఫైల్. సో ఫస్ట్ కాంపోనెంట్ ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ని మన యూజర్కి అసైన్ చేస్తాం. తర్వాత మనం యాప్ యాక్సెస్ అనేది విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొఫైల్ మనం కంట్రోల్ చేస్తాం. ఇది మన యాప్ ఎంప్లాయీ. సో ఇక్కడ మన యాప్ సెట్టింగ్స్లోకి వెళ్తే ఇక్కడ యూజర్ ప్రొఫైల్లో మనం క్రియేట్ చేసిన ప్రొఫైల్, ఈ ప్రొఫైల్కి మాత్రమే మనకి యాప్ కనిపించాలని చెప్తున్నాం. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఓన్లీ నర్సగౌడ్ ఇస్ ద వన్ హూ విల్ యాక్సెస్ దట్ ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ యాప్. ఇప్పుడు నేను ట్రై చేస్తే నాకు ఆ యాప్ దొరకదు. బికాస్ ఎందుకు దొరకదు?
యూజర్ యాక్సెస్ లేదు.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ, ఆ యూజర్ ఒక ప్రొఫైల్కి మనం యాక్సెస్ అనేది యూజర్ బేసిస్లో డిసైడ్ చేయాలి, యూజర్ ఒక ప్రొఫైల్కి. సో ప్రొఫైల్ ఈజ్ మ్యాండేటరీ ఫర్ యూజర్. మన దాంట్లో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, యూజర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్లో ప్రొఫైల్ ఈజ్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ డిసైడ్స్ ఏం యాప్ యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి, ఏం ట్యాబ్స్ యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి, ఏం టేబుల్స్ యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి, ఏం ఫీల్డ్స్ యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి అనేది ప్రొఫైల్ డిసైడ్ చేస్తుంది. సో ప్రొఫైల్ నుంచే మనం యాక్సెస్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తాం. సో యూ డూ దిస్ యాక్టివిటీ. ఒక ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ని ఆన్ బోర్డింగ్ అనే ఒక ప్రొఫైల్ని క్రియేట్ చేసి ఒక యూజర్ని క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ యూజర్కి ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ అసైన్ చేసి నెక్స్ట్ ఒక కస్టమర్ అప్లికేషన్ బిల్డ్ చేసి ఆ అప్లికేషన్ని ఓన్లీ ఆ యూజర్కి మాత్రమే కనిపించాలి. ఓకే, మనం యూజర్ లాగా లాగిన్ అవ్వాలి ఎలా అని చూపించా కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఒక చెక్ బాక్స్ ఎనేబుల్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు నేను నా యూజర్ లాగా ఉన్నా. మనం ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగా క్రియేట్ చేసిన యూజర్ లాగా లాగిన్ అవ్వాలంటే ప్రతిసారి లాగౌట్ చేసి లాగిన్ చేసే కన్నా లాగిన్ యాక్సెస్ పాలసీస్ అనేది ఉంటుంది, అది సెర్చ్ చేయండి లాగిన్ సెటప్లో. ఈ చెక్ బాక్స్ ఎనేబుల్ చేస్తే మనం ఒక అకౌంట్ సేల్స్ఫోర్స్ అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకునేటప్పుడు విల్ బి అన్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్. వీ నీడ్ టు చెక్ దిస్ బాక్స్ సేయింగ్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్ కెన్ లాగిన్ as ఎనీ యూజర్. క్లియరా? ఇప్పుడు ఇటరేట్ చేసిన మొత్తం ఇంతే. ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయా? హలో,
ఒకసారి ట్రై చేసాం బ్రో.
అదే ట్రై చేయండి. ట్రై చేసి ఇన్ కేస్ ఏమైనా ఎక్కడైనా ఛాలెంజెస్ వస్తే గ్రూప్లో పింగ్ చేయండి.
ఓకే.
సో మీకు ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ప్రాసెస్ చెప్పండి, అట్లీస్ట్ మీకు ప్రాసెస్ అర్థమైంది. ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి, నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి, తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలి? సరే, మన సినారియో ఏంటో ఒకసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయండి. జస్ట్ మనం ఏం చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు, అసలు మన సినారియో ఏంటి?
ఫస్ట్ ఒక ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి బ్రో.
చేయాలి.
దాని తర్వాత
స్టెప్స్ కాదు నేను అనేది, మన సినారియో ఏంటి?
ఓకే.
మన కంపెనీలో ఒక కొత్త ఎంప్లాయీ, కొత్త యూజర్, ఆ యూజర్ ఆన్బోర్డింగ్ అప్లికేషన్ని హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, ఆన్బోర్డింగ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ వచ్చింది మనకి, ఆన్బోర్డింగ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ వచ్చింది మన కంపెనీకి. దాన్ని నేను చరణ్కి కానీ, దాన్ని లేకుంటే నేను నర్సాకి కానీ అప్పచెప్తున్నా, టేక్ కేర్ అని చెప్పేసి. సో ఫర్ దట్ ఈ స్టెప్స్ అన్ని చేయాలి మనం. ఆ పర్సన్ చెప్పండి.
యాక్సెస్ కోరికే ఉండాలి.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ,
అదే రెస్పాన్సిబుల్. ఓకే,
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. ఆ యాక్సెస్ డిసైడ్ చేయడానికి మనం ఈ స్టెప్స్ అన్ని చేస్తాం. ఆ యాక్సెస్ అనేది మనము యూజర్ కి డైరెక్ట్ ఇవ్వలేము. సేల్స్ ఫోర్స్ లో ప్రొఫైల్ ద్వారా ఇవ్వగలం. ప్రొఫైల్ ఇస్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ కంట్రోల్స్ యాప్స్, ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్, ట్యాబ్స్, ఫీల్డ్స్. సో ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ ఆ యూజర్ కి ఇచ్చేసి ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ కి ఆ యాప్ యాక్సెస్ ఇస్తాం. ఓన్లీ ఆ ఒక్క యాప్ యాక్సెస్. సో ఆ ఒక్క యాపే కనిపిస్తుంది, వేరే యూజర్స్ కి ఆ యాప్ కనిపించదు. బికాస్ మనం ఆ యాప్ ఓన్లీ చరణ్కి కానీ, నర్సగౌడ్ కానీ ఇస్తున్నాం, కొత్త ఎంప్లాయీకి. సో ఈ యాక్టివిటీ చేయండి. ఓకేనా? క్లియరా? చేయండి మీరు. లైక్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్ మళ్ళీ యూ క్యాన్ పింగ్ ఇన్ ద గ్రూప్. శివ కానీ నేను కానీ కనెక్ట్ అవుతారు. మీరు ఎక్కడైనా పాజ్ అయితే, హార్డ్ స్టాప్ అయితే.